Roads. We take them every single day. From the quiet suburban streets of America to the towering cliffside passes of the Himalayas. They connect us, guide us, and carry us forward. But some roads? They weren't built for comfort. They weren't built for safety. They were carved out of mountains with dynamite and sweat. They stretch across frozen tundras where rescue might never arrive. They twist and turn, designed more like roller coasters and highways. And yet, millions of people still travel them. Today, we take you on a journey across the top 10 most dangerous roads in the world. Some are breathtakingly beautiful. Others are brutally unforgiving. But all of them share one thing in common. They test the limits of human courage. And sometimes they claim lives in the process. This is not just about roads. This is about survival. 1. North Yungas Road, Bolivia, the death road. Imagine a road so narrow that when two cars meet, one has to reverse. Now imagine that same road hanging off the side of a mountain with a 2,000-foot drop just inches away. That is Bolivia's North Yungas Road, known around the world as simply the Death Road. Built in the 1930s by Paraguayan prisoners of war, this 40-mile stretch connects La Paz to the Yungas region. It winds through dense jungle, misty cliffs, and blind corners where headlights barely cut through fog. For decades, it claimed hundreds of lives every single year. Buses, trucks, motorcycles, even cyclists, swallowed by the abyss below. Why so deadly? The road is barely wide enough for one vehicle. Guardrails? Forget it. Rain turns the dirt into mud, fog blinds drivers, and waterfalls literally spill across the path, making tires slip as if on glass. And yet people still use it. Here's the emotional twist. In some remote villages along the route, this road is the only lifeline. Children ride school buses across it daily. Farmers transport their harvest on the same cliffs where entire vehicles have vanished. Imagine sending your child to school knowing they must ride down the death road. But in recent years, something surprising happened. Tourists flock here, not to avoid danger, but to chase it. Mountain bikers now pay for the thrill of riding down the world's most dangerous road, smiling for photos just feet away from death itself. And that's the strange paradox of the death road. For some, it's a lifeline. For others, it's a playground. But for all, it's a reminder that the line between adventure and disaster is only a single slip away. From Bolivia's death road, we move across continents to another killer carved into stone. A highway so high, it scrapes the heavens themselves. 2. I-45, Texas, USA, America's deadliest highway. Every American highway has its risks, but one of them carries a reputation darker than the rest. At a distance of 285 miles from Dallas to Galveston, Interstate 45 looks like any other modern American road. Wide track, stable traffic, endless gas station along the way. But there is a serious reality under the simple surface. I-45 has more deadly accidents per mile than any other highway in the United States. Why so dangerous? The answer lies in a perfect storm of factors. Houston, America's fourth largest city, funnels endless commuters onto I-45 every single day. Add heavy truck traffic on the Gulf Coast, unpredictable Texas weather, and drivers who treat the speed limit as a suggestion, and you get a recipe for disaster. But it doesn't end there. This highway also cuts through neighborhoods with high crime rates. For decades, sections of I-45 have been linked to criminal activity. Stolen cars, high-speed police chases, even unsolved murders. The stretch between Houston and Galveston is notoriously referred to as part of the Texas killing fields, where numerous bodies were discovered over the years. A road built for convenience, slowly turned into a corridor of fear. The emotional twist? For thousands of Texans, this highway isn't optional. It's the only way to get to work, to school, to family. Every day, ordinary Americans place their trust in a road that statistics prove is unforgiving. And yet, despite its dark reputation, I-45 remains busy. Because in America, sometimes the most dangerous road is the one you simply cannot avoid. From the chaos of Texas, we head north to the frozen wilderness of Alaska, where danger doesn't come from speed, but from silence and ice. 3. James Dalton Highway, Alaska, truckers' ice gauntlet. Some roads kill with speed, others kill with silence. Welcome to James Dalton Highway in Alaska, for 114 miles of gravel and ice that runs all the way from Fairbanks to Prudhoe Bay oil areas. On a map, it looks simple enough, just a line across the northern wilderness. But in reality, this is one of the most remote and punishing roads in America. Why so dangerous? Begin with the basics. Gas stations? Only 3 along the entire route. Cell service? Forget about it. Hospitals, or help, hundreds of miles away. Out here, if your car breaks down, you're not just stranded, you're in a fight for survival. Then comes the weather. Arctic winds rip into the property, leaving a temperature below minus 40 degrees. Snow and snow make the road to a frozen mirror. Truckers call it the ice gauntlet for a reason. One slip, one skid, and your rig might slide off into endless tundra, never to be seen again. And then there are trucks yourself. This highway was designed to deliver the Trans-Alaska pipeline, and it was dominated by large-scale 18 rigs that were in the north at a terrible speed. For regular drivers, sharing the road with these giants is like swimming with whales in a frozen ocean. If one makes a mistake, you won't survive. The emotional twist? For the communities up north, this road is a lifeline. Every gallon of fuel, every loaf of bread, every piece of medicine, it all comes by way of the Dalton. Truckers here aren't just drivers. They're survival itself. And yet, many thrill seekers still try to conquer it, drawn by shows like Ice Road Truckers and the promise of adventure. But what most don't realize is this. On the Dalton, adventure and death are often only separated by a few inches of ice. From Alaska's frozen tundra, we are now too warm in one place, but no less dangerous. A highway where beauty collides with chaos, and the sky hides a deadly secret. For Hannah Highway Aerial, 600 power, 59 bridges. When people think of air, they imagine the sky, palm trees, beaches, and cool offshore wind. But hidden within that paradise lies one of America's most dangerous drives. Welcome to Hannah Highway at Mau, 64 miles to connect Kailua to the cool town of Hannah. On the surface, there's a dream road. On the one hand, juicy rainforest, waterfalls that fall down the stones of the other, and glitter down the Pacific. But behind the postcard view is a path that has sent countless drivers into panic, and sometimes tragedy. The danger begins with a number: 600 sinking and 59 narrow bridges. Some of these bridges are so tight, just a car can cross at a time. Add blind corners, slippery pavement from constant rain, and distracted tourists fumbling with cameras. And you get chaos disguised as beauty. Why so deadly? Because most people underestimate it. They rent a car, thinking it's a simple scenic drive, only to realize halfway through that they're navigating cliffside turns with no guardrails. Locals who know the road by heart speed past impatiently, pressuring tourists into mistakes. And when accidents happen, rescue is slow, cell service is almost no, and ambulances can take hours to arrive. The emotional twist? For residents of Hannah, this isn't a tourist ride. It's the only way home. Parents drive their kids to school on the same blind turns that scare visitors into pulling over. Doctors and nurses commute along it daily, sometimes racing against time to save a life. For them, the Hannah Highway is not an adventure, it's survival with a view. And yet, the irony is powerful. The very road that draws thousands for its beauty is the same one that has quietly earned a reputation as one of the most treacherous in the United States. From the tropical cliffs of Hawaii, we head to the wide-open American heartland, to a quiet rural road that looks harmless until you learn its deadly nickname. 5. Dragon's Tail, Tennessee/Northern Carolina. 318 decreases for 11 miles. Some roads are built for speed. Others are built for beauty. But this one was built to test your limits. The American Route 129, which lies at the border of Tennessee and Northern Carolina, is known as a dragon tail. At first glance, it doesn't look long, just 11 miles. But it is a challenge within the short distance that has made it both famous and scared. 318 decreases have been packed on less than a dozen miles asphalt. There is no house in the road. There is no driveway, no gas station. Just you, your machine, and a twisting ribbon of pavement through dense forest. For motorcyclists and sports car enthusiasts, it's heaven on earth. They come from all over the world to conquer the dragon, leaning into hairpin turns like it's a racetrack. But here's the catch. The dragon is not a racetrack. It's a public road. And every curve is an opportunity for disaster. With blind turns stacked one after another, there's little room for error. Overestimate your speed by just a few miles per hour, and you may end up in the trees, or worse, over the edge. Why so dangerous? Because adrenaline and ego do not mix well with asphalt. Accidents occur so many times that locals for companies park flatbed nearby and are waiting for the next accident. Memorial crosses and signs of the roadside. Dirt reminders of riders who pushed it very hard and never excluded it. The emotional twist? Despite its reputation, the tail of the dragon has become a pilgrimage site. For some, it's a test of skill. For others, a bucket list item. But for too many, it's their final ride. From the tight curves of the dragon, we move west, to a highway where danger doesn't come from curves, but from speed, chaos, and sheer human recklessness. 6. American Route 50, Nevada. Loneliest road in America. Some roads are dangerous due to traffic, some because of curves. But this one is dangerous for the exact opposite reason. Because out here, there is no one. U.S. This road spread in the desert, about 400 miles, and was once part of the old Pony Express Trail. Today, a paved ribbon cuts through enormous emptiness. There are no signs of civilization after mountains, drier around and after kilometers. At first glance, it looks harmless. The sidewalk is wide, the sky is ready, and the road goes directly for hours. But this is where the father is hiding. Long, Tom Lula spreads drivers in the false safety of security. Fatigue sets in. Drowsy driving becomes as deadly as speeding. Add in triple-digit desert temperatures, and suddenly a breakdown isn't just inconvenient, it can be life-threatening. Gas stations are few and far between. Cell service? Spotty at best. If your car overheats or a tire goes out, you can get stuck for hours before going to another driver. For some undue travelers, this wait has become deadly. Here's an emotional turn. Despite the dangers, many still take this way. Not because they have to do it, but because they want to. The Route 50 has become a ritual to pass for the brave people seeking loneliness, beauty, and freedom, because of the chaos of town and the city. But independence here comes at a cost. A wrong decision, a missing preparation, and the silence of the Nevada desert can be your last resting place. From the empty silence of Nevada's deserts, we move east, to a road that's anything but quiet. A chaotic stretch where traffic, speed, and human error collide every single day. 7. Route 17, New Jersey, Chaos Corridor. Some roads earn their danger from nature, mountains, cliffs, or ice. Others? They're dangerous because of us. Welcome to Route 17 in New Jersey, a 27-mile stretch moving from Newark towards the New York state line on paper. It's just another busy suburban highway. But to locals, it has another name, the Chaos Corridor. Why? Because this road combines every ingredient for disaster. 6 lanes of speeding traffic, endless shopping malls, diners, and gas stations feeding cars in and out through poorly marked exits. Sudden merges that appear out of nowhere, and drivers, impatient, distracted, and always in a rush. The danger here isn't steep cliffs or icy tundras. It's human behavior. Tailgating, weaving, aggressive speeding, all while texting or sipping coffee. Add in the constant stop-and-go traffic, and you have a road where accidents aren't just possible, they're guaranteed. In fact, Route 17 ranks among the most accident-stricken highways in New Jersey. And it gets worse. The road's chaotic design was never meant to handle modern traffic volumes. Built decades ago, it has become a funnel for thousands of travelers every day. The tractor-trailer threatened with small compact cars and triggers an incorrect path change that turns off the highway for hours. The emotional twist? For the millions who live in North Jersey, Route 17 is unavoidable. It's how you get to work, to school, to the grocery store. Families pile into minivans, crossing the same exits where fatal accidents happen week after week. For them, danger isn't a choice, it's baked into daily life. And yet, despite its chaos, Route 17 keeps moving day after day. A road too important to avoid and too dangerous to forget. From a chaos in New Jersey, we head south to a highway where the danger doesn't just come from traffic, but from nature itself, striking without warning in America's Tornado Alley. 8. Interstate 35, USA. The Tornado Alley Highway. Most highways are shaped by traffic. This one is shaped by the sky. Interstate 35, at a distance of about 1,600 miles, cuts directly to the heart of America, from the Mexican border, Texas, through Oklahoma and Kansas, north of Minnesota. This is a backbone of American trade and travel. But for all its importance, I-35 carries a unique and terrifying danger. It runs directly through Tornado Alley. Drivers on this highway don't just battle traffic. They battle nature at its most violent. For a moment, the sky is blue. Then dark green clouds throw up the top, slam the shape of the baseball into the windshield, and tornado wanders in siren spacing. At the I-35, the storm is not waiting to pull you politely. They hit when you're exposed, trapped in the open, with nowhere to run. Why so dangerous? Because this isn't just about tornadoes. The weather here breeds chaos in all forms. Sudden downpours that flood lanes, icy blasts in winter that turn bridges into skating rinks, and crosswinds so strong they can shove 18-wheelers onto their sides. Add in the relentless flow of commuters, tourists, and long-haul trucks, and I-35 becomes a highway where disaster can strike from above or below at any second. The emotional twist? For millions of Americans, there's no avoiding it. Dallas, Oklahoma City, Wichita, Kansas City, all depend on I-35 as their lifeline. Families pack into cars for vacations. Truckers push through to deliver food and fuel, and college kids drive home along a road that has seen entire towns flattened just miles away. And yet, despite its dangers, the highway keeps moving. Because in America, even when nature shows its worst, the road forward never closes for long. From the storm-battered plains of Tornado Alley, our journey now turns west, to a legendary American desert highway where danger comes not from storms, but from speed, heat, and endless open space. 9. Route 66, Arizona. Desert Death Road. For many, Route 66 is nostalgia. Neon diners, classic cars, the freedom of the open road. But in Arizona's desert, that freedom comes at a cost. The old U.S. Route 66 runs like a scar across the American Southwest. Once called the Mother Road, it carried millions westward during the Dust Bowl and post-war boom. Today, much of it has been replaced by Interstate 40, but long stretches remain, especially in Arizona. And here, the beauty of the desert hides a brutal truth. Why so dangerous? Start with the heat. The summer temperature grows upwards above 115 degrees Fahrenheit, boils the tablecloth to the tire burst, and the engine is overheated. For passengers, a breakdown is not just impractical, it is a threat to life. The huge desert can strict you for hours, shade a little, and leave almost no cell service. Then comes the road itself. Narrow, crumbling pavement, faded lane markings, and blind rises make accidents frighteningly common. Add in tourists chasing nostalgia. Some distracted, some speeding to feel the freedom, and the result is a dangerous cocktail of inexperience and overconfidence. And then it's terrible history. For decades, deadly debris, countless stories of abandoned cars and passengers lost in the desert have earned a serious reputation for Arizona. Some stretches are so deserted that the locals call them dead roads, and worn outsiders do not underestimate them. The emotional twist? For many Americans, running the Route 66 dream of a bucket list is a chance to overcome the golden age on car trips. Family mounds, sunset and memories in cars. But for some, the dream turns tragic, as the desert reminds them that freedom on the open road has always carried risk. From the burning desert of Arizona, we now shift east, to a modern interstate where the danger doesn't come from nostalgia, but from speed, volume, and the chaos of endless American traffic. 10. Interstate 10, the highway of tragedy. Some highways test your patience. This one tests your survival. Interstate 10 is one of the major highways in the United States, which is more than 2,400 miles from California beaches to the swamp in Florida. But the most deadly stretch goes between Arizona and Texas. A corridor is so notorious that the locals call it the motorway to the tragedy. Why so dangerous? Start with sheer volume. I-10 is a lifeline for freight transport, with endless streams of 18-wheelers through the desert for all hours. Add passengers, tourists, and lasting passengers, and you have found a recipe for gridlock for a moment, and the next has high-speed chaos. Then comes the landscape itself. Long, flat desert roads lure drivers into speeding, but one wrong move, 1 second distraction, and accidents happen at 80 miles per hour. Heat bakes the pavement until tires explode. Dust storms sweep across the highway with zero visibility. And at night, wildlife, from coyotes to deer, darts suddenly into traffic, turning a quiet drive into a fatal collision. Statistics don't lie. Over the years, I-10 has registered more traffic deaths in the United States than any other highway. Pileups that include dozens of vehicles are not rare, and a crash can close a highway for thousands of people. The emotional twist? For millions, I-10 isn't optional. It's the only road home. Families drive it to visit loved ones. Truckers use it to keep America's economy moving. College students take it back to campus after holidays. Every traveler knows the danger, but every traveler takes the risk anyway. Because in the vast Southwest, I-10 is a road that connects life together. From the tragedy of I-10, we climb north, to a mountain pass where beauty and danger live side by side, and where one icy curve can change everything. 11. Interstate 70, Colorado, the death trap in the Rockies. Some roads take you over mountains. This one makes you wonder if the mountain will let you through it all. Interstate 70 is an engineering business, which makes a way directly for the heart of the Rocky Mountains. From Denver west, there's a fantastic drive, cutting tunnels through granite, bridges spread over valleys, increasing the pitches from both sides. But for all its beauty, I-70 is one of the most dangerous highways in the United States. Why? Because Rocky doesn't play fair. In winter, snow and ice convert to a skating rink. Storm flies without warning. The drivers are dazzled by whiteouts and are stuck in traffic jam 11,000 feet above sea level. Although summer, test engines and brakes are, especially for large trucks to transport goods. A missed call on a downhill, and the disaster is just others gone. North America has both the longest mountain tunnel, the Eisenhower Tunnel, a wonder, and Aspen. When accidents happen inside, rescue is complicated, and traffic backs up for miles. And then there's the infamous mountain passes like Vail Pass, where runaway truck rams tell the story. Brakes fail here, often. The sight of a semi barreling downhill at 70 miles per hour is enough to make any driver's pulse spike. The emotional twist? Thousands of families travel I-70 each year, pursuing skiing in Aspen or Brackens, or a trip to the national parks in Colorado. The drive feels like freedom, adventure, beauty, until it turns into a fight for survival. On I-70, nature is always in charge. The mountains do not bend to the highways, and every curve is a reminder that the most beautiful path in America can also be the most unable. From the snow-covered heights of Rockies, our journey now drops in nature. A highway that is so empty and endless is earned cool surnames. Loneliest Road in America. 12. U.S. Route 50, Nevada. Loneliest Road in America. Imagine driving for hours and seeing nothing but sky, sand, and a faint line of asphalt stretching forever. That's not a nightmare. That's Route 50. U.S. Route 50 is cut in the huge deserts of Nevada and has served its mythological surname. Road Alone in America. And this is not just an attractive title. This is a clear warning. This highway runs for hundreds of miles with almost no towns, no gas stations, and no signs of civilization. For drivers, that emptiness can be both breathtaking and deadly. Why is it dangerous? Because when things go wrong here, they really go wrong. Brake on the summer heat, and with you helps you up to miles. Temperatures rise above 100 degrees. In winter, sudden blizzards swing inland from the mountains, caught cars in snow, and there is no shelter without shelter. The cell service is best smoky, which causes passengers to be cut and alone. The isolation also breeds another danger. Fatigue. Infinite. Hypnotic Stratway drivers in a look. Drowsy driving accidents are scary, and when you help hours disappear, a minor accident can also be deadly. Add wandering wildlife, from wild horses to deer, and it's no wonder the locals recommend. Never run the Route 50 without water, blankets, and a plan. The emotional twist? For many, this road symbolizes freedom, the raw beauty of America's frontier spirit. Adventure seekers travel it to feel what pioneers once felt. Small against the vastness of nature, but with that all comes a humbling reminder. Out here, you're not in control. The desert is. On Route 50, loneliness isn't just a nickname. It's a survival challenge. And those who take it lightly often don't make it back to tell the story. From a lonely Nevada desert, we now head to a highway where emptiness isn't a danger. Chaos is. A stretch of blacktop so infamous, it's been called the most dangerous highway in the entire United States. 13 U.S. Route 1, Florida. The most dangerous highway in America. Some highways are scenic. Some are fast. This one? It's both, and that's exactly why it's deadly. Stretching from the tip of Florida all the way to the Canadian border, U.S. Route 1 is America's oldest highway. But its Florida section, especially the stretch that winds down to the Keys, has earned a notorious reputation. It is statistically the deadliest road in the United States. Why? Start with design. Much of Route 1 through Florida is just two narrow lanes bordered by ocean on one side and swamp on the other. There's little room for error, no wide shoulders, no escape routes. Add in the fact that it's a tourist magnet. drawing millions of rental cars, motorcycles, and RVs every year, and you get a volatile mix of inexperience and impatience. Then there's the weather. During the rainy season, visibility was turned into a brown wall. Strong headwind shakes vehicles sideways, while elegant roads multiply accidents in seconds. Night driving adds another layer of risk. Dark, isolated stretches make it nearly impossible to spot obstacles in time. But the biggest danger? Human behavior. Speeding, drunk driving, and distracted texting behind the wheel are rampant on Route 1. According to reports, fatal crashes occur here almost daily, earning it the grim title of the most dangerous highway in America. The emotional twist? For many people, Route 1 is a dream trip. The foreign highway, where the bridge jumps in the water toward the sky. Wedding, family, retired, everyone chases his way to joy. Yet for thousands, that same road has ended in tragedy, leaving loved ones with memories as fragile as a thin strip of asphalt itself. From Florida's paradise turned peril, we head west to a highway where danger doesn't come from beauty, but from raw, overwhelming chaos. A desert interstate that tests both machines and humans to their breaking point. 14. Interstate 15, Nevada/California. The death drive from Vegas. What happens in Vegas may stay in Vegas, but the drive home, that's where the danger begins. Interstate 15 is a fantastic artery that connects Las Vegas to South California. During each weekend, players, party guys, and thousands of cars take full of tourists front and back between Sin City and Los Angeles. But under neon glow and desert sunset, the I-15 has become one of the most deadly highways in America. Why? For one, the sheer volume of traffic. On peak weekends, over 300,000 vehicles cram onto this desert corridor. Add fatigue. Drivers leaving Las Vegas often do this after nights, long, lasting drinking and partying. Behind the wheel, which is translated into slow response time, poor decisions, and catastrophic accidents. Then comes speed. The road is cut directly through the Mojave Desert, long and flat. The driver's invited to push their cars at a distance of about 90 miles per hour. But the heat of the desert can cut the tire, and the change in the impatient path at high speed has caused countless pileups. The Baker Grade, a long uphill stretch known for testing engines, also becomes a hazard for trucks and overheated vehicles. When breakdowns happen, stranded cars become sitting targets on narrow shoulders. And at night, the desert turns pitch black, hiding obstacles and lulling drivers into dangerous micro-sleeps. The emotional twist? For many Californians, I-15 is a symbol of freedom, the road to fun, fortune, and escape. But too often, the ride home ends in tragedy. Families lose loved ones within sight of the glittering strip, turning celebration into heartbreak in an instant. On I-15, the danger isn't the desert. It's the deadly mix of exhaustion, speed, and human recklessness. Proof that the party doesn't always end when you leave the casino. From the neon lights in Vegas, we move equipment to another type of risk. A road where there is no casino or tourist, but pure ground rocks and tireless storms that make survival uncertain. 15 U.S. Route 550, Colorado, the $1 Million Highway. They call it $1 Million Highway. But for many drivers, no amount will refuse to take them twice. U.S. Route 550 confirms to the robust San Juan Mountains in Colorado, connecting the cities of Ole and Silverton. It is only 25 miles away, but this road has gained a reputation as one of the most terrible driving in the United States. Why? Because it clings to the side of sheer mountain cliffs with no guardrails. This is right. There is a mistake twist, an icy slope, and there is nothing between you and a drop of several hundred meters in the lower valley. Engineers deliberately left the railing to allow the snow chute to push the snow avalanche and the snow from the coast. The practical decision has created a psychological nightmare for drivers. The road is narrow itself and is full of hairpin, is often immersed in fog, or a sudden blizzard causes blankets, even in the end of the spring. Winter brings snow avalanches that can bury the highway without warning. And with steep characters, there are common dangers to overheat brakes and ski tires. But the most scary part, the drive is stunningly beautiful. Towering peaks, waterfalls, and mountain valleys surround you, making it tempting to take your eyes off the road, exactly when you need to keep them glued to it. The emotional twist? Many tourists take Route 550 for its scenic views, part of the so-called San Juan Skyway. Families in rental cars, motorcyclists seeking adventure, road trippers chasing Colorado beauty. For them, it's supposed to be a dream drive. But for too many, the dream becomes a heart-stopping ordeal, a mix of awe and sheer terror that they'll never forget. The $1 Million Highway proves that sometimes the price of breathtaking beauty is measured in courage and sometimes in lives. From Colorado's cliffs without guardrails, we now head deep into the south, to a highway where the danger doesn't come from mountains, but from unrelenting traffic and human impatience. 16. Interstate 285, Atlanta, the perimeter of peril. Some highways test your courage with cliffs and avalanches. This one tests your patience, and that can be just as deadly. Welcome to Interstate 285, the giant beltway that circles Atlanta, Georgia. Locals call it the perimeter. Truckers call it something less polite. Safety experts? They call it one of the most dangerous interstates in America. Why? Start with sheer numbers. 285 carries more than 2 million vehicles every single day, everything from commuters rushing to work to tractor-trailers hauling freight across the southeast. That volume alone would be risky, But then you add in Atlanta's notorious congestion. Stop-and-go traffic blends with drivers weaving at 70 miles per hour, and suddenly, crashes are an everyday sight. The layout doesn't help. The exchange lives in the perimeter of all directions, causing continuous grinding of fusion, exit, and groundbreaking chaos. For drivers outside the city, it looks like a huge, high-speed merry-go-round, where an incorrect exit can send you a spring in the crowded gridlock. Then there's a truck factor. 285 is an important center for long neck freight, which means that the 18 wheels dominate the track largely. And when truck traffic collides with aggressive local driving habits, the results can be devastating. The study has ranked as I-285 as one of the most deadly accident frequencies across the country. The emotional twist? For millions of Atlanta residents, 285 is only part of daily life. Parents drive their kids to school on it. Workers take it home from late shifts. Tourists land at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport and jump right onto it. It's not a road they can avoid. It's the lifeline of the city. Yet every year, too many never make it to their destinations. The perimeter reminds us, sometimes the most dangerous roads aren't in the mountains or deserts. They're the ones we drive every single day. From the death road of Bolivia to the icy highways of Alaska, one truth stands clear. The road you drive on is never just a road. It's a story of the people who build it, the travelers who risk it, and the danger wandering every turn. These highways remind us that beauty and danger often live together, that the most breathtaking views can also be the deadliest traps. So, the next time you're behind the wheel, remember, safety is not guaranteed by asphalt or concrete. It is earned moment by moment, choice by choice, mile by mile. Thank you for traveling with us today on this journey on the world's most dangerous roads. If this story opens your eyes, make sure to like, subscribe, and share, because awareness saves lives, and together, we can all drive a little safer.